Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where we explore every twist and turn in the NBA's most enthralling off-season drama. Today, we're diving into a blockbuster what if that has the purple and gold faithful buzzing. What if the loss? Angeles Lakers finally pull the trigger on a long-rumored center swap with the Charlotte Hornets, and this time, don't back out. Yes, we're talking about Jusuf Nurkic, the rugged Bosnian big man who could check every box for LA's title ambitions. It's no secret the Lakers have a glaring hole at center. In their first-round exit to the Timberwolves, the absence of a true back-to-the-basket bruiser was painfully exposed. Anthony Davis logged heavy minutes at both 5 and 4, and while he held his own, the team desperately needed a bona fide rim protector to pair with his unique skill set. When the Hornets sent Mark Williams to Los Angeles at the deadline, it felt like a trial run. But the deal fizzled, and LA's reliance on stretch fives faltered. Enter Jusuf Nurkic. At 7'0" and 290 pounds, he combines road-grading strength with surprising mobility for a man of his size. Last season with Charlotte, he averaged 11.8 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks per game on 57.3% shooting. He is a more polished defender than Williams, with nimble footwork in the post and timing to contest shots. Unlike most rental centers, Nurkic stretches the floor to 15 feet and can hit mid-range jumpers at a respectable clip. He's a throwback interior force that meshes with today's pace and space ethos, a Swiss Army knife among pivots. Imagine the following scenario. It's mid-July, cap holds are shifting, and Rob Pelinka has circled Charlotte's front office number. Lance Blanks picks up, and after a cordial exchange, numbers fly across the line. The Lakers agree to send Maxi Kleber and Gabe Vincent, two veterans with expiring deals worth roughly $11 million apiece, plus a future 2030 first-round pick. In return, they receive Nurkic and Charlotte's 2028 second-round selection. The Hornets clear cap space and acquire draft capital. The Lakers snag their missing jigsaw piece at center. This deal checks every front office box. The money matches, the pick compensation is reasonable, and LA addresses its most pressing need. But let's unpack why this trade makes so much sense for both sides, starting with the Lakers. First, and foremost, it's about fit. Nurkic's interior presence would allow Davis to roam freely at the 4, cutting down on paint fouls and fatigue. In pick and roll, he can set crushing screens, then pop back to the rim for lobs. On defense, his help side rotations and rim protection would transform LA's drop coverage scheme. Gone would be the nights Davis is forced to play too many minutes or chase around in space. Instead, he'd focus on leveraging his agility while Nurkic anchors the paint. Offensively, spacing opens up dramatically. Defenses could no longer sink. Two bigs into the paint whenever the Lakers go small, Nurkic stretches the floor just enough to keep help defenders honest. Role players like Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell would benefit from additional driving lanes. Imagine a late-game possession where LeBron flares into the corner, Reeves dribbles in pick and roll, and Nurkic seals off the rim, giving Davis a clean look in the post. The chess pieces start aligning. Then there's the draft pick aspect. The Lakers haven't had a first-round selection since 2019, a drought unprecedented in modern Laker history. While this proposal only nets a 2028 second-rounder, having any pick in that range is better than none. It gives LA a chance to stash a prospect overseas or nab a developmental wing, addressing future depth concerns. In today's NBA, second-rounders have real value. Look at players like Duncan Robinson or Emmanuel Quickley, both late picks turned rotation stalwarts. Consider the Hornets' perspective. They've been clear about wanting to clear veteran salary while accumulating young assets. Kleber and Vincent, while serviceable, don't fit Charlotte's youth movement. Packaging them off offloads $22 million in commitments, and turning that into a 2030 first-rounder could yield a lottery-caliber talent, or at least a tradable pick. They also still wield Mark Williams and rookies like Nick Richards, And by sending Nurkic away, they avoid paying for his one-year $23 million cap hit, freeing room to pursue defensive guards or versatile wings in free agency. Moreover, Charlotte's front office could flip Kleber and Vincent in subsequent deals or simply let their contracts expire, positioning themselves under the cap for 2026 when dribble handoff stars become available. If they can add a pick in the late first round in 30, they could target a prospect to plug a hole at wing or backup point guard. For a rebuilding franchise, stockpiling picks trumps holding aging veterans. But let's not gloss over the human elements and locker room dynamics. Nurkic is known as a high-energy teammate, often rallying teammates with his enthusiasm and defensive intensity. His presence in the spa room, helping younger players recover and sharing EuroLeague insights, adds intangible value. Conversely, Kleber and Vincent, while beloved for their professionalism, feel like placeholder pieces, valuable but not indispensable. LA's culture thrives on maximal effort and star-driven urgency. Nurkic fits the mold of a do-it-all big who can share the physical burden. Of course, every blockbuster comes with risks. Nurkic missed significant time in 2022 with a leg injury playing for Portland, fracturing his leg, suffering a patellar tendon tear, and missing most of 2022-23. While he rebounded admirably, health always looms large when dealing with big men. The Lakers' medical team would need to clear him thoroughly, ensuring no lingering issues. Additionally, integrating a new interior presence requires strategic adjustments from J.J. Redick and the coaching staff, new sets, defensive rotations, and offensive schemes. Then there's the broader ripple effect across the roster. What happens to Cam Reddish and Troy Brown Jr., both of whom saw minutes at 5 this spring? Could one of them shift to the 3 or 4, playing small ball lineups? Does this push someone like Wenyen Gabriel back to the end of the bench? The Lakers must balance veteran continuity with youthful energy. Adding Nurkic potentially ushers in a new era of lineups, Davis at 4, Nurkic at 5, with Reeves, Russell, and LeBron forming the nucleus of the starting 5. That prototype lineup on paper draws comparisons to Miami's Big Three, only with a different skill set. Strategically, the timing is impeccable. The free agent class for true centers is thin in 2025. Only veterans like Jonas Valanciunas or Brook Lopez are realistic fits, and both carry age-related decline. If LA waits until July 6th, they might miss out or overpay. Executing a trade in June, when assets are at peak value and fewer teams are active, maximizes leverage. Rob Pelinka's war room could quietly signal to Phoenix or Denver that similar deals are on the table. Suddenly, Charlotte feels motivated to deal Nurkic at a fair price. Of course, the pure what if lingers. What if Pelinka and Blazers GM Mitch Kupchak cross lines? What if emerging young centers like Kenyon Martin Jr. or Isaiah Jackson impress enough in Summer League to give LA pause? The calculus is dynamic, shifting with each pick-and-roll replay and film room session. Yet, in the end, the center position remains the greatest void. Guard upgrades and wing depth are valuable, but true contenders are built from the middle, out. Nurkic, when healthy, represents the kind of transformational piece that turns a good team into a title contender. So, will the Lakers finally rekindle negotiations for a center for vets swap with the Hornets? Will Pelinka's phone ring off the hook as NBA GMs cycle through possible proposals? And, most importantly, are we witnessing the opening act of LA's off-season masterpiece? Stay tuned, because as soon as that call goes through and terms align, purple and gold fans will erupt. The Jusuf Nurkic to Lakers storyline isn't just rumor-mongering. It's the kind of high-stakes chess match that defines a championship chase. And if this deal materializes, we'll be here to break it down, move by move, so you never miss a beat. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into every angle of the Jusuf Nurkic trade chatter, Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and tap the notification bell so you never miss our breaking coverage of blockbuster, deals, and off-season maneuvers. Now, let's explore the cascading effects and final considerations that make this proposed Lakers-Hornets swap so tantalizing and so fraught with what-ifs. First, imagine the transformation from opening night. The Lakers tip off at Crypto.com Arena with LeBron James at small forward, Anthony Davis at power forward, and Nurkic at center. The five-out spacing that so often spills paint defenders into the arc is enhanced by Nurkic's occasional mid-range pull-up. Instead of a pure zone drop whenever the opponent runs a pick and roll, LA can blitz early, knowing Nurkic has the hops to contest in the paint. Defensive rating predictions for the new lineup drop into the low 100s, matching the league's elite. Off the court, the dynamic shifts in practice are even more dramatic. Julius Randle and Rui Hachimura, who have each spent time at 5 in scrimmages, suddenly find themselves battling Nurkic for first-team reps at the 5 spot. That internal competition pushes everyone to level up. Randle refines his face-up game, Hachimura polishes his pick-and-roll footwork, and even guys like Christian Wood and Matt Ryan have to prove their worth on the interior. Coach J.J. Redick's morning shoot-arounds now include Nurkic ambushing perimeter jumpers, a sight that young wings absorb like a masterclass in defensive ambition. But let's pivot to the Hornets, who surely aren't just waving goodbye. Charlotte's front office returns to the drawing board with 3 primary goals: stockpiling picks for the post-2025 rebuild, clearing cap room to pursue free agent wings, and preserving roster flexibility. With Kleber and Vincent off the books, by July 1st, the Hornets project over $40 million in cap space, enough to target a pair of veterans at $8 years and $12 million each, or to absorb a 1-year contract in return for a future asset. They've already identified targets, perhaps someone like Cam Johnson or Reggie Bullock to solidify the perimeter unit and mentor burgeoning talents like Dyson Daniels and Nick Richards. From a draft perspective, Charlotte's 2030 first-rounder becomes a coveted lottery asset. Even if it conveys late, they could flip it for future second-round movement or a veteran wing. Meanwhile, the 2028 second-round pick they send adds a depth piece in the secondary or a rebounder off the bench. GM Mitch Kupchak can parlay that into a 2029 early second or a 2031 swap, keeping multiple strings in play. Meanwhile, Lakers fans debate the risk-reward endlessly. Scroll through social media and you'll find one camp extolling Nurkic's intangibles: fire in his belly, leadership in the locker room, that animated scream after a big block. Another camp frets over his health. Bandaged legs and a handful of 2022 games loom large in memory. Critics argue the Lakers should instead invest in youth or chase Giannis Antetokounmpo, while optimists envision a championship-caliber front-court rotation that unleashes Anthony Davis's MVP upside. But the ultimate determinant will be Rob Pelinka's willingness to sacrifice near-term draft capital for immediate roster upgrades. He has a history of blockbuster risk-taking, remember the Russell Westbrook deal, but also knows the value of draft equity in a cap-uncertain era. This deal tests that philosophy. Is a 1-year rental of Nurkic, plus a distant second round pick, enough? Or would Pelinka prefer to stand pat, trusting internal options and mid-season buyouts? Financially, the trade makes sense under the CBA. The Lakers swap 2 expiring deals, maintain full mid-level exception flexibility, and preserve cap holds for future extensions, such as securing Austin Reeves or smoothing a path for Bronny James in 2026. Meanwhile, Nurkic's 1-year, $23 million salary fits akin to a mid-level max allocation, leaving LA with wiggle room for veteran minimum signings or an in-season trade. But that's why we love this game. The Lakers are more than a team. They're a cultural barometer. When they make bold moves, the league shifts. And should Pelinka and Rob Wolf execute the Nurkic deal, the ripple effects would reach far beyond Staples Center, touching the Hornets rebuild, sending shockwaves through free agency, and rewriting championship projections. So, what do you think, Lakers News Fan Report fam? Would you pull the trigger on Yusuf Nurkic for those assets? Is the 2025 Lakers title run worth mortgaging picks for one rental season? Or should LA remain patient, let internal talent rise, and save draft capital for more sustainable build? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I can't wait to hear every fiery take. If you enjoyed this two-part breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss our insider rumors, trade analyses, and championship chase coverage. Thanks for watching, and remember, in Lakerland, it's never too early to dream big or to prepare for the next seismic move. Farewell for now, and we'll see you courtside.